Okay.
Hot dog.
OBKB.
Obi-Wan.
Hoop up the butt.
Ben Obi.
Ben. Our friend Ben. God damn
It
it.
kind of annoys me that he continues to call him Ben, even though he fucking knows that's not his name.
It's the name that he went by, though. It's the name he knew him by.
Okay, but...
Ben, the two of us need look no more. We both found what we were looking for.
Well, at least he doesn't go by Bem.
No!
Ugh.
Bem? Bem Kenobi?
Falls to pieces more easily than 3PO.
Hey.
Ditto. Fucking ditto.
Oh my god, when fucking Vader hacks him down, he just splits into little Ben pieces. That'd be
There you
fucking
go.
great. Okay, now I want this.
Okay,
I don't think
Caitlin
I
will
did.
write the Star Wars, Star Trek, Lower Decks mashup.
As they call Robot Chicken, they'd do it.
They would do it. I love robots.
No one will get the reference because no one in the world cares about Bam.
I thought you were going to say what listens to this podcast.
I mean, also true. More
No one will-
people
I thought you were
love
gonna be
Bam.
like, no one's going to get the reference because no one listens to this fucking show. That's what I thought you were going to say. I was braced. I was ready for it.
Speaking
Let's
of
get
this fucking
started.
show, let's get started. Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a briefly Star Wars podcast. Jesus
Easy
God.
for you to say.
Not even at all. I'm only one coffee in out of 3. This is going to go well. This week, my name is Ames.
Last week, my name was Caitlin.
Someday, my name is Jake.
For today, my name is George Lucas.
Get him out of here!
Why? What neck you have?
I wanted to explain why all these ideas were actually good.
Neat. We'll talk
'Cause they
about
rhyme
this.
like poetry.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so usually we're a Star Trek podcast. We're between series right now, so we figured, hey, let's take a little shore leave. Let's go to an empire long ago, far, far away, do the thing. This week we are on the last of the original trilogy, episode 6-ish? What are we?
Yeah,
How do Roman numerals work? 6.
D-I.
Return of the Jedi. Oh, I'm sorry. Blue Harvest. Nothing to see here. This is just a normal horror movie called Blue Harvest. No one's going to give a shit. What's that you say? It's actually the third of the Star Wars things. Let me give you the briefest synopsis because, oh, fuck. Last week when I asked you guys, why is Empire everyone's favorite? And then we watched this movie. I was like, oh, that's why. I
You're like,
forgot
"Oh, it
how
really was the best."
I forgot how absolutely fucking ridiculous this movie is. It's been a while. So here we go. Here's how fucking ridiculous this movie is. We start off, and there's this very convoluted-ass plan. Seems like a Romulan plan.
Yes.
To get to free Han from Jabba the Hutt's wall, basically. Eventually, after a whole lot of dithering around and me getting very confused by what exactly this plan entailed in the first fucking place, they succeed, and Leia kills the fuck out of Jabba while wearing that very epitomous golden bikini. So
I
they
thought you were
did.
going to say her Breen costume.
That's what Chris said.
Honestly,
Chris
I
kept
don't
talking
even
about
see it
looking
anymore.
Like a green costume.
After seeing the Breen, I don't even see it in this costume anymore.
Chris was like, why is she dressed like a breed? And I was like, fuck, this changes everything.
Ha! Okay, that's excellent, though.
Thank
It
you.
does. It doesn't. It kind of doesn't. So meanwhile, Vader's doing his Vader thing. He's meeting up with the Emperor, who's like, we got to get Luke. We really need Luke. Make sure you get on it, because we're building this new Death Star thing, because we accidentally destroyed one at the first movie, and we kind of realized we wanted it back again. And we're gonna do the whole taking over the universe, even though I kind of think we already did that? Question marks? Whatever. Luke goes back to Dagobah. Yoda dies. Sorry, buddy. And then he realizes, oh shit, a whole bunch of stuff is happening on this other planet. We should go check that out, because the new star-destroying machine is over there. Let's go figure this out. So they all go down to the forest moon of Endor, and they're like, all right, we're going to take it down, and our new teddy bear friends are going to help. They're here. We're going to ride around on a lot of fucking hover bikes, which look absolutely atrocious. Han is going to tell more jokes than he needs to, and I'm going to get sick of him real fucking fast. Luke is going to have his showdown with the Emperor, which is going incredibly poorly because turns out he's really not a good Jedi. Luke, not a good Jedi, guys.
Yoda's like, no, finishes your training.
You're a Jedi now. You made the lightsaber. You passed shop class. You're good.
Jedi 101 complete.
So Vader gets himself redeemed? Not even a little bit, but he throws
it took
the
him
Emperor.
an awful long time to go for redemption. He was like, maybe I can just watch him fucking torture him for a few more minutes. Okay, no.
Threw this guy down a well. Everything's good now. I've died, therefore I'm redeemed, even though I killed like millions of people.
Oh god, so many people.
So many.
Possibly in the hundreds of millions of people. Personally, with my bare hands. Oh no, with my force choke.
And don't forget about the younglings. I mean,
so many children.
All of them.
No children, only younglings.
And then the movie just kind of ends with us partying with teddy bears.
Hate it.
Which is interesting. And we see some force ghosts as we do. And wow, we didn't need this movie.
Yeah,
we kind of didn't need any of it.
I mean, we needed a movie, but we maybe didn't need this movie. Like they had to do something to finish it up.
I'll defend parts of this movie.
Damn.
Defend parts of this movie, Jake.
I mean, I do think that the Luke Vader showdown is great. I think pretty much everything that happens in the Emperor's chamber is pretty cool. The scene where Vader is baiting Luke by scanning his mind or whatever and is like, ooh, your sister. But if you won't become a dark guy, maybe she will. And then Luke just kind of cuts loose. And I don't know. I always really like that scene.
It reminds me of like in
Master Vader, that's why.
In Chain of Command when oh god, the name's gone. Gul Madred is pestering Jean-Luc an awful lot and being like, well, I'll just do it to Beverly. And Jean-Luc's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
he would have threatened to do it to Wesley.
The thing is, it's that he actually, like, Vader succeeds in doing what he and the Emperor were planning to do, which is he lures Luke to the dark side. Because that's like when
very
Luke is,
willingly. When
Luke is freaking out and just, absolutely hacking at him with the lightsaber and pushing him back and
chopping a hand off.
Chopping his hand off. I mean, that is Darth Luke at that point, right? Like, he is doing the dark side thing, and then it's only when he physically sees, after he cuts the hand off and he sees, oh shit, I have a hand. Oh my god, I'm becoming my father!
Oh, he really is my dad!
Everybody's worst nightmare, becoming their parents.
Suddenly wearing cargo shorts everywhere and telling bad jokes.
And then Vader kind of has the same experience when he's watching Luke get his ass electrocuted.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really like that scene. I think it's cool. I think it does justice to the Vader story.
Really, like you said last week, Jake, and I don't know if this will have been kept in, but like the opening, as long as you can kind of suspend your disbelief over how fucking the number of things that had to work out just right for the plan to work is a bit crazy. So don't think about that.
The plan to
Free Han.
The Free Han plan.
Free Han sequence, that's good. Stuff in the throne room, that's good. Space battle's entertaining enough. The problem is, like, everything on Endor is too long.
Oh god. It's so long and it's so wants to be a great joke and it keeps being so tired.
Well, I think what's bizarre too is like clearly there's some sort of like, attempt at allegory here for like, look, it's like how America keeps getting its ass kicked by guerrilla tactics. But it's weird that you've made like basically the Viet Cong into primitive teddy bears. I mean,
instead of guerrilla tactics, it's teddy bear tactics.
Yeah, like the Viet Cong weren't primitive. They just knew the land better and had lesser resources, so had to resort to, these sorts of tactics. It probably would have been better if Lucas just did his original plan, which was Wookiees.
Yeah, I read about that.
Yeah,
that would have been good.
Wookiees would have been a lot better.
Wookiees would have been believable.
Yeah, but he was like, I want it to be a primitive race for some reason. But again, all you really need is...
the reason was money. Didn't they just run out of money for costuming? Isn't that actually what happened?
I don't think so. I've never heard that.
Oh, I thought
I think
that
they
Ames
think
told
they
us
had
that
a
that was
bottomless
the case.
pit of money to make.
Yeah,
that
for
movie.
Jedi.
Oh, I feel
yeah.
like someone told us that. I feel like someone at some point
Well, they fucking lied.
told me.
I've literally never heard that before.
That doesn't mean it's a lie. Just 'cause you haven't heard
It's
it.
probably a lie.
Fuck.
It's also probably Lucas was like, "Ooh, if I make these fucking teddy bears, it's a whole new line of toys."
Yeah, I mean that's really what it is. You know, it was a play, I think, for the kiddie.
But they're not even
audience.
cute.
No, I hate
They're
that.
like ugly teddy bears.
The baby ones are
The baby
cute.
ones are
Yeah,
cute.
that's
Caitlin did the
exactly.
same.
At one point, we saw they did the shot of a baby one, and I
But,
was
like,
like,
let's
okay,
be
that
real.
Ewok's okay, but it's gonna grow
Like-
up to be fucking awful.
But here's the thing, though. Baby anything is going to be cute. Baby Yoda,
Not humans.
cute. Regular Yoda,
Ames has
not
a
cute.
point. Also incorrect. Yoda is super cute.
No, Yoda's hot, okay?
Sorry, my mistake.
When 800 years old you reach, have this bod you will not.
Oh.
Just never get a blowy from him. All his teeth are pointy.
Ay,
Oh.
Dios mío, what the fuck?
But yeah, I don't know. I think I was thinking about it, and I don't know. I don't know if this was something that was established. This must have been something that was established in the expanded universe that Wookiees were like slave laborers for the Empire, and they built the original Death Star or participated in the building. I seem to remember that from something.
They were definitely used as slave labor. I can't remember if they were used to help build the Death Star or not. I think
It's from
Solo.
a dream Jake had.
Maybe
I think
maybe.
Solo brought some of that back. Like Wookiees were.
Oh yeah,
definitely
that's
slave
right. They
labor
were
in
slave
Solo.
labor, yeah, in Solo. But yeah, so let's just assume though that that's a thing. Like, because my biggest problem with this movie is that Han Solo has nothing to do, and he's left just making dumb jokes and stuff, which
The
doesn't
jokes are
work.
Bad
He
jokes.
does like he really. If he were not there, everything would have gone the exact same way. And what's even more, they really did him dirty because, like, what is the one thing that Han Solo does? He flies his fucking ship,
Yeah.
and he
Mhm.
does hero shit in
He's
his
a great
fucking
pilot,
ship.
yeah.
And they take his fucking ship away. They
Yeah.
give it to Lando, who, like, yeah, Lando's great too, I guess
He's
now.
alright.
But you
He's
know,
redeemed.
they-
Vader,
you know,
on the
so,
other
like,
hand.
Lando and Rando are fucking flying around in the Falcon and go.
Like it would have made more sense having Lando lead the ground team.
Also, it
Right,
always
it-
pissed me off that Lando is a general. Like, they heard about his shit at the Battle of Shit Show,
Well, see
and
that
they're like, General.
that kind of makes sense when you think about. There's still like one thing that is interesting about this is that you can see that clearly somewhere between Empire and Jedi, the rebellion got some extra money. Like basically, they got the help of the Mon Calamari, and suddenly they've got like stuff.
Are you saying that the Mon Calamari have changed everything?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're just throwing out generalships like
Well, that's
candy.
General ships.
Like that overall, even despite this, there's such a sort of small band that
Mm.
like whenever you have, I mean, plus when you look at it, relatively speaking, most of their people are quite young. So it's just like because people keep fucking dying. 'cause
Oh.
it's a terrible plan.
yeah.
So it's just
Poor
like whenever
Wedge
someone,
is sitting there. He's no general. He's just flying his ship.
yeah, like at this point, he's survived all these major battles. He should at least be a
He should be a fucking fleet admiral or something.
something. That's the other weird part is everyone's a general, even space people, except the Mon Calamari who have the rank of admiral.
Well, also the Empire has had an admiral in the last.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I
movie.
meant just for the rebels.
Yeah.
The rebels don't really use
Isn't
naval.
Admiral better though than?
No, they're
They're
equivalent.
equivalent.
Oh right, it's Aaron Land. I always forget this.
But yeah,
But
if you had,
yeah.
like if you had Lando leading the raid and it was written more seriously, and it was still shorter though because it's still just too fucking long. Have Han in space, like that would have been a lot better.
Well, here's how I fix it, okay? And I haven't thought this out fully, so this is very
Great.
half baked.
This is my favorite kind.
You get away. You just fuck the planet, okay? No planet.
No
It's
planet.
just
Good.
it's just the
Done.
Death
Planet.
Star.
Good.
Fixed. No
And,
Ewoks, no planet.
Yeah, exactly. It's already perfect. You, don't
You
have to-
know, maybe we get Lando and Chewie together, and they team up
sexually.
to infiltrate the Death Star. So like all the land stuff ends up taking place on the Death Star, but it's not Ewoks, it's the Wookiees who are there building the Death Star.
Because they're the slave labor.
Chewie shows up, Lando's, in disguise as a Empire guy or whatever. They bring Chewie in like, this is a new new Wookiee worker.
Wait,
guy.
how many times are we going to do the Wookiee prisoner trick?
And
Twice.
This is
every
too
time.
many.
Listen, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
It rhymes.
Okay, so we bring them in, and then Chewie gets the rest of the Wookiees who are all dejected and chained up. He gets them to rise up and start beating the shit out of the Empire, and that's how we take down the shield. The shield is just in
On
the Death Star.
And
instead of
now
on the
this
planet.
rhymes with Solo.
There you go. And then Han does what he does best,
Dies.
flies the ship
Oh.
and blows up the damn Death Star.
No, because here's my question
And
about that.
dies. And he also
Yeah,
dies.
because that was that was Harrison Ford's suggestion. He really wanted them to kill off Han in this
Because he
movie.
didn't ever want to have to come back. He was smart.
Yeah, and there was talk of doing it early in the third act so that it
Yeah.
would still feel like maybe other people might die after this. But here's what I read. George vetoed that because he thought it would be harder to sell Han toys if Han was dead.
Absolutely
Make him a Force
right.
ghost. Then you can have a whole new line of blue
He doesn't have any
Han
Force.
Solos.
That's why, like, when people were shocked that Han died in episode 7, I was like, really? Because the minute I heard he was going to be in it, I was like, oh, they must have promised they'd kill Han finally. Because that is the only reason he would show up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
almost feel
producer
like
the producer convinced him because they were both working Raiders of the Lost Ark or something.
Mm.
Or had been working Raiders of the Lost Ark
I
together.
feel like the Han Solo plotline in this movie was written out of spite for Harrison Ford. Like, they're like, oh, you don't want this part anymore? Well, fuck you. We don't want you either. So we're just going to have you doping around on some planet, not getting anything done. You can try to blow out a torch comically, for fuck's sake.
They
Yeah.
almost killed Lando, too. But I guess
Kill them all.
I've heard two different versions. Either they cut it, like, even before filming, or they allegedly did film rather, the version where he died heroically during the battle, but like the test audience was like, what? No.
See, it's
Fucking
actually
test
funny.
audiences.
I would have thought that, like, honestly, if you had said, oh, we're going to kill Lando, I can't even imagine caring. Like, in my opinion, he fucked up. I know he tried to make it better, but he fucked up, and I don't like him.
Mm.
So I don't really care. You could have killed him, and I would have been like, good. Finally got what he deserves.
But yeah, so yeah, I think everything on the planet was a waste. I don't know if my Wookiee solution would actually fix it, but it has
Listen,
to be
it'd
different.
be worth a try.
Be better than this.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I
Um,
actually, like, dozed off during part of the Endor sequence.
Can
Oh
confirm.
god. Well, it's the same fucking jokes over and over and
Well,
over
dude, you
again.
keep saying jokes. What jokes? What was supposed to be funny?
The jokes of like, oh, the Ewok jumps on a speeder bike when that's fucking impossible.
Oh, they thought that was funny?
Or
Of
the
course it was
Ewoks
funny.
like take over the ATSD, which is funny, right?
Or they try to trip it with the rope, and then they all just get dragged along with it.
That
Womp
was
womp.
stupid. That was so ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
just
you're right,
goofy
that's dumb.
shit.
I love that the Empire has its guys trained to be like, look, we are the major government in this galaxy. We have apparently limitless resources. But if a fucking Ewok steals a single bike,
We're all going after it.
Like,
Every
three
single
guys.
one of us.
and it's not even like they were trying to get it back, because they started taking shots at him.
You know what I want to see though? So like
More dead Ewoks? We only saw one. I was so pissed.
the Emperor tells Luke, he's like, an entire legion of my best troops await them on the planet, and then
That's a
like
good impression, Jake.
and then they so they get arrested, and then they bring him outside, and there's indeed an entire legion of apparently his best troops, and then the teddy bears show up, and it's a scene from Monty Python. Run away! like there's immediate chaos. Like they don't form up, they don't try to shoot the teddy bears, they just scatter in absolute chaos.
Yeah, like, again, it would have made more sense if they at least had comparable weaponry. They were just using guerrilla tactics to make up for their lesser numbers.
Also, we knew that stormtrooper armor was a joke when it came to getting shot with like blasters. Apparently it's also a joke being shot with tiny arrows launched by fucking Ewoks, because like there was scenes of stormtroopers dying with little tiny arrows sticking out of their armor.
I mean, you can apparently knock out a stormtrooper by hitting him over his helmeted head with a rock. And they go, ow. So, like, it doesn't even protect against mild, like, melee damage.
Also, the Imperial Navy, not that much better.
No.
I gotta be honest here. They out, like, even after the Death Star blows up, they were still outnumbering the rebels 10 ships to 1, maybe? I don't know. Like, there was still a shitload of Star Destroyers. How did they still end up winning the battle? Or did the Empire just like, oh shit, Death Star's gone, fuck off?
Well, they don't know from whom they're getting their orders anymore, right? Is it just,
I mean,
no one's telling me what to do, so I'm going home.
Is there no chain of command? Is there, like, I know
None.
that, like, the probably the head commander was on the big ship that crashed stupidly into the Death Star. But I am assuming there must be other admirals or some there must be some chain of command.
Well, so basically what it is they're like, oh shit, the Emperor's dead. They all rushed back to Coruscant to try to get themselves named a new Emperor.
Yeah, the implication of this movie that really irks me is that the Emperor died and the Empire just ended.
Yeah.
And like there's a we watched the original, the theatrical release. But I know that in the special edition there's a whole scene of like people tearing down statues of the Emperor, and it's like, I don't know if that's
it's a very clean transition this way.
Yeah,
unless the Emperor was personally like the old, like everybody in the Emperor, all the Imperial troops and commanders and everything was only working because they liked the Emperor so much, or he had, their browser history or something. That's the only way that makes sense. The idea that just the Empire loses one battle and the Emperor is killed in it. And also, it's not even the Emperor, don't forget, it's his fucking clone. So makes no sense, and it makes even less sense in light of Episode 9, which makes everything make less sense.
In light of Episode 9.
Yeah. That was actually one thing I liked about, because I have very, very mixed feelings about the old expanded universe stuff. But one thing it did do way better was acknowledge, like, there was still a lot of work to be done. And I mean, part of it was made easier by the fact that there was a lot of infighting over who would take over. Like, in his hubris, the Emperor really did not plan for a replacement, aside from his clones. And no one else knew about them except, like, him and 3 other fucking people. So there were a lot of, like, admirals and warlords and whatever, like, trying to consolidate their own little fleets and this and that. And
now, the Emperor was, like, really begging Luke to kill him, though. Like, did he really want Luke to kill him? Did he know Luke wouldn't be able to because Luke is a ninny? Or because Luke just does not have good enough powers because Yoda only half-trained him?
Oh, I think he knew that that Vader would step in, which he did.
Yeah.
And like, for the Emperor's perspective, it didn't matter. Like, if Vader kills Luke, great. If Luke kills Vader, even better. Like, either way, he gets either to keep his old apprentice or he gets a new apprentice.
Yeah.
And he can always fall back on his lightning fingers if it all goes to shit.
In light of Episode 9, if Luke kills him, he apparently takes over Luke's body or something, right? Isn't that what he's trying to do with Rey?
We're thinking Episode 9 again. This is a mistake.
Well, again, don't forget, it's not the Emperor, right? Episode 9 just ruined everything. I mean, not that there was much here to really ruin, but it makes this movie stupider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It somehow retroactively makes the rhyme not work.
Yeah.
It's a sight rhyme instead. And you're like, oh, I see what you did. Good job.
Yeah. So we did have the special edition again. And, oh boy.
Gunite. Anana. Lawa.
This one I think probably had the least fucking around with, admittedly, but unfortunately, yeah, it was fucking Jedi Rocks, which not only is stupid, but so now you've got like the dancing the two were doing, the Twi'lek and the other lady, made sense to the original music and doesn't work to this new stuff. So that's great. And yeah, it has the like extended ending where they cut between the various planets. There's a fucking Gungan shouting about how
I never saw that version.
Oh yeah, there's one. That's right, because they wouldn't have had it originally. Later, they added a cut to Naboo.
Wow.
Celebrating the downfall of the Empire.
Hooray!
And a fucking bunch of Gungans on top of a building screaming about freedom.
How did they get up there?
See, I would have assumed that...
Are you making a Trump joke? Oh, okay. I was going to say, because that felt like I could see them celebrating from my apartment in Manhattan or whatever the fuck.
I would assume, though, that Anakin would have sterilized that planet out of spite.
Fuck these Gungans.
Yeah, no. It's doing fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, his wife was from there. You know, he's so angry about his dead wife that, he was going to take it out on our planet or something. I don't fucking know.
Dude,
I guess
spoilers.
the Emperor is from there, too, so.
Yeah, he'd probably be like, could you not? All my stuff is there.
I like that your impression of the Emperor is just Seth MacFarlane's impression of the Emperor.
Yeah, Jake's is definitely better.
Yeah, Jake sounds exactly like him. It's actually
That's
quite
right.
impressive.
I am, because I am him.
Are you one of
Jake
his
is a clone.
clones?
Yes, I am one of the Emperor's clones.
Well,
Nice.
Honestly, seeing that that the Emperor was once young and handsome, at least now I believe that he got laid and could have a granddaughter like Rey. So congratulations, Jake. Jake, you've made it believable.
So last week we said that the shot of Vader returning to the Star Destroyer was lifted from this movie. We might have been wrong about that because I did not spot that shot. I was looking for it.
Well, I think it was I guess it was a different angle that
Maybe.
wasn't used in Jedi, but it was definitely the same set because you can see the guy that meets him there in the
Yeah,
shot. So that's what
maybe.
it is. They cheated it by using an angle they hadn't used, but it was definitely recycled. Like, here's some B-roll we never used from Jedi that we can use for George's dumb idea.
Okay.
And the only thing that proves is the fact that that actor is there and he was not in Empire.
Mm.
One thing I did notice too is that I don't know if maybe it's just in this one or maybe it was restored. Because again, George did keep fucking with these right up until he sold to Disney. His wife's name is at least in the credits as an editor for this one.
Oh, well.
So I don't know if they got put back at some point or it's
They
just
just
in
gave her the worst
Jedi
one.
or what, I don't know. But it is likely they hadn't been there at one point and they got put back and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Because again, like, we talk about the special editions, but they didn't actually freeze in time in 97. He kept tinkering.
I also noticed that all three actors that portray Vader in this movie got credits.
Oh,
Good.
did they? That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I saw that, yeah.
Wait,
Well, they-
including James Earl Jones, or
Yeah, so James Earl Jones is credited as the
Oh.
voice of Darth Vader.
because he
David
wasn't in the
Prowse
first
was-
two, right?
I don't know if he was in Empire. He definitely wasn't in the first one. David Prowse gets credited as Darth Vader, and Sebastian Shaw gets credited as
Thank you. I couldn't
Anakin
remember his name.
Skywalker.
As an egg-shaped thing.
As Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty, yeah.
Oh, that was another thing that he did later. They digitally erased Sebastian's eyebrows
Oh, yeah, you were saying that.
because they would have been burnt off and never grown back, apparently.
Mm.
Huh. He could have drawn him on.
He could have, but apparently, no.
I think that's what I said. Isn't that like exactly what I said?
I believe so.
Because Chris mentioned it while we were watching, and I was like, whatever, he drew him on. He got him tattooed. Who the fuck cares? It's fine.
Oh God, he's like Amanda Palmer.
Yeah, I also saw in the credits they had all the people who were operating the Jabba the Hutt puppet.
How many people is that? Like 7?
There's 3 people in the puppet
Okay.
Holy shit.
because there's Toby Philpott who does the left arm, head, and tongue. There's David Barclay who does the right arm, mouth, and like uses any English dialogue, I guess, like during the scene or what have you.
Okay.
So that the scene can be progressing. And Mike Edmonds, who does the tail, because he was a little person who also played an Ewok later on, and he could fit in the tail.
Well, the guy doing the tongue should get all the credit because
Oh.
it's fucking disgusting.
Oh, yeah, no, it's nasty.
Yeah, and then the eyes and facial features were done via remote control by Mike Quinn. So yeah,
fucking cool.
Big fucking literally 1-ton puppet that I have written down here. It took 3 months and $500,000 to construct.
Jesus.
And Lucas was not pleased because it can't move. It has to sit in one spot. And he was hoping that it would be able to move around. And it's like, no.
I think it's way more effective.
Yeah,
right?
that he's
Like,
just...
Because he just looks like he's just like lording it over everybody. You don't
Yeah.
you don't look at that and think, oh, something's wrong here. He should be strutting around. It's like, no, he's a big fat shit. They're bringing him whatever he wants. He's throwing people into pits. He's licking Leia. He's absolutely perfect.
Man,
Just another example of Lucas being fucking wrong.
I
He just
totally
doesn't get it.
misremembered that green girl who he watches dance. I totally misremembered because in the movie she falls through the hole in the floor and probably goes and dies some horrible death.
Oh,
But
yes,
in
definitely.
my brain, I totally forgot that and thought he ate her.
That's fair.
That's what he
fair.
was trying to do. She wasn't into it. That's
I
why
think the
he
assumption
killed
is
her.
she gets eaten by the same monster that Luke fights.
Yeah, the Rancor.
Oh, Rancor! It was so sad when
Oh,
Rancor
the
died.
handler! The
Yeah.
handler cries. It's so sad.
It's
Like,
sadder than any other moment of
Oh,
the
definitely this
whole
movie.
Star Wars movies.
And again, I think, if we go back to just the fact that George Lucas doesn't understand human emotion, like, I think for him that was a joke. Like, isn't it funny that someone thought this thing was their pet, but normal human beings with souls and empathy are like, oh, someone cared about him.
Yeah,
It's
but still, that
sad.
handler's a piece of shit, right? That's like Joe Exotic or something. That guy.
Probably.
I don't know. He's just. It seems to me that he's just a random hench person who got
He's
put in
he's-
charge
he's-
of feeding the Rancor, and he bonded with it.
Yeah, but
I
I
don't
don't,
feel
know.
like that
I
makes
feel
him a
like I
bad
feel like the
person.
Rancor should be free. I don't
Yeah,
think
the Rancor should definitely be free, but it's
But
like
it's
Jabba the
Jabba
Hutt
who-
is keeping it. That guy
Yeah.
is just making sure that it's fed and as comfortable as possible. He probably, polishes its fangs and
well,
makes
maybe.
sure it gets its favorite treats.
Yeah, I like to think he's an
His
alright
favorite
guy.
treats, pig
Of
monster.
course he's an alright guy. He cried. He was crying. You can't cry because someone kills your puppy and be a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Well,
I mean, you could be, but I
yeah.
don't know.
You're not bad
But-
about that particular thing.
He's a victim of circumstance.
I said when he ate the Gamorrean, I was like, wait a minute, I keep kosher!
Nah.
Oh,
George finally got his pig
a
alien.
Jewish Rancor. I
Yeah,
like
they
that
didn't look
idea.
great. The pig aliens. The
Yeah, they varied
costumes-
wildly,
Well,
I feel-
like the
now,
Ewoks.
Now we know where Green Ham comes from.
Right. So let's talk more
Ouch.
about our plot over here in Yoda's dungeon, and not Yoda's, Jabba's dungeon.
No, I want
Yoda
to
has
hear
his
about
own
Yoda's
dungeon.
dungeon, please.
Hot.
I
Tell
mean,
me about it, stud.
I never really thought about it in depth until this viewing, but it's like, they apparently didn't know Han was still frozen. But his still
Oh.
being frozen ended up being kind of central to the plan. So, I mean, I guess, and that's the problem, of course, is that our bridge character is fucking 3PO, who they don't tell anything to, because
Yeah.
he would fuck it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they did. Well, because here's the thing:
They had
Lando
Lando
had already
there, right.
infiltrated the place. So here's my feeling on this. I think rather than this being just a really convoluted plan, I think it was several plans. Each one was the fallback for the previous one.
Yeah,
That,
I
like-
can see that.
Like Luke, he's like, all right,
Layers
it's,
of plan, like an
it's
onion.
a long shot, but we'll send the droids in and just see if we can negotiate something. Just to see. If we
Yeah.
can get out of this
It's worth
without
a
killing
shot.
anybody, great.
Yeah, I will say it was actually quite nice to see 3PO actually using his skill set
Mm.
appropriately and fairly well.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was nice to see 3PO, huh? Good
was-
names.
It's not what I said.
Yeah, so that didn't work, but it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna hide a lightsaber in R2 just to be safe. And if all goes to, and then I think the second plan was, okay, Leia will rescue him in the dead of night,
They're lucky R2 wasn't stuck in that robot torture room when they needed
Yeah.
him.
The
Yeah,
only
That was
problem-
horrifying.
The only problem with Leia's plan is that they rescue Han, but Chewie is still in prison.
Lando probably could have busted him out.
Maybe.
Man, the Jabba surprise party was kind of hilarious, where it's like, oh, they pull back the curtain. We've been watching party time. The elephant makes a trumpet noise. God, that fucking elephant. I hate it.
Oh, the blue thing?
It does not look like it belongs in this movie because it is so entirely a different aesthetic.
It kind of does. It just looks like it should be hanging out with the fucking Ewoks.
It looks like it belongs on Bananarama.
Yeah, but so do the Ewoks and the pig monsters. Like, I feel
No, not even though, because they at least have like a level of detail in their puppets where they look like they belong in this movie. The blue elephant looks like it's made out of Muppet material, and it should be and it should be like
favorite alien.
As I say,
is it?
And no, but and we didn't see it, but the CG critter that sings the Jedi rock song looks straight up out of the Muppet Show.
Oh, no. Yes, I hate it.
I object only because I feel like they'd make a better puppet.
Yeah, well, they would. I mean, this is like if the Muppet Show were actually bad CG instead of actual Muppets. It's like somebody reimagined Animal, but only with a vague description.
His name is Max Rebo.
Well, we're talking about the brown, like, furry alien guy?
The guy that sings.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it like a duet? Isn't it him and like some other alien thing that are singing?
Yeah, it's the thing with the lips.
Yeah, I hate him. He's awful.
Oh
yeah,
man.
we got to see. I think they CGify the lip thing in your version. They
do.
Yeah, in our version, it was a really janky looking puppet.
Not sure which I'd prefer. I feel like
janky
yours
puppet.
Least, I was gonna say at least yours might have had some charm to it.
Yeah, so I guess really the one thing that is like, oh, it's lucky it worked out that way was R2 getting the gig on the
R2 serving drinks.
Yeah, because if that didn't happen, I mean, the other thing is, it also really depended on them being sentenced to go into the pit with the Sarlacc, because...
And not just shot in the middle of...
Yeah, Luke looked like giddy to be like, yeah, Sarlacc, all right, good, this plan's gonna work now.
See, if I were Luke, what I would have done is, rather than hide my lightsaber in R2, I'd have built it into my robot hand. So I could just be like, hand pops off, lightsaber beam, you're like, yeah, bitches!
If I were Luke, I would have not bothered saving Han.
Well, he owed Han 2. I'd say this counts for 2.
I mean, the other thing is he could have just brought his fucking lightsaber with him.
Like,
they probably checked him at the door, no?
They didn't.
No, but he used his mind trick.
He used the Force to get in.
He also used...
And he choked out those monsters.
I was about to say that. Like, apparently during his training, no one mentioned, by the way, Luke, the choking thing, we don't do that. Only the bad ones.
That's some dark side shit, bro. Well, and besides which, though, you knew he was going to be dark side. He's dressed all in black.
That's right.
Surprised he didn't have a red lightsaber.
He had a green. I like the green lightsaber.
Interestingly, it was originally going to be blue like his previous one. But because they had all that outdoor filming, they were like, fuck, the blue beam might not show up right against the sky. So, green it is.
Well, either way, though, it does feel like a nice, because we see that, blue is kind of good guy and red is kind of bad guy, so the green is kind of a neutral influx type of thing.
Vulcan.
What I'm saying is it rhymes.
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm glad it rhymes.
Yeah, it rhymes.
Well, and that just opened the door to, good guys having anything but red.
Purple.
Yeah.
Mace Windu's was the best, dude.
Purple. That was at request of Sam Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
We'll eventually he's a man of style and class.
Yellow and I think white.
Yellow. No good Jedi's going to use a piss saber. Get out of here with that.
Oh, speaking of the saber.
Kit Fisto would.
Fisto.
Speaking of the lightsaber.
Kit Pisto.
This has driven me nuts for years. When fucking the Emperor's looking at Luke's new saber, he goes, much like your father's. No! It's fucking identical to Obi-Wan's. What the fuck are you talking about?
I think he just means you have a lightsaber like Jedis have.
I thought it was you built it yourself, which is a thing you're supposed to do as a Jedi, like your dad did.
I guess.
Okay, wait, I have a new idea. Maybe he meant just like your father's, as in actually Obi-Wan's your daddy.
Oh.
Bam. I mean, I know that's not what he meant, but I can have whatever headcanon I fucking want.
There is actually, I think, I don't know how many people adhere to it, but there is a fan theory that Obi-Wan was going behind Anakin's back at some point with Padme, and they might be his.
Ooh.
Well, I fucking hope so.
That's
because
sexy.
Frankly, Padme deserved better.
But yeah, no. See, I always say, much like your father's, and I'm just like, it doesn't look a thing. Like it.
That's not what I read the line to mean. So, but here's an actual question though. So, Vader assumably has always known Luke is his son? Question marks. Don't know about that one because he seemed really intent on killing him in the first movie, but whatever.
Who did? The
Vader.
Vader? I mean, I'm sure he knew that he had a son. Well, I'm sure. Okay, I'm sure he knew once he found out that there was a Jedi kid running around named Skywalker.
Yeah,
he put 2 and 2 together.
That's fair. That's good job, Vader. You're very smart. A+. He didn't know about Leia.
I said the same thing. Sorry, go ahead, Ames.
No, that's my question. Is like he seems it's a revelation when he does some kind of mind probe thing, something on Luke to be like, you have a twin sister. Obi-Wan did a great job hiding her from me, that prick. God damn it, Obi-Wan. So he never knew? Is that the idea here?
Well, he doesn't. He doesn't know. Fast forwarding
they didn't
to
really
episode
send
3,
him like a birth announcement.
You know, she has the children basically in secret, and then they're immediately brought away.
Okay, yeah. I'm not remembering most of 3.
Yeah, maybe he does issue. Not. He
didn't even know she was pregnant.
I think he knows that she's pregnant, but the Emperor says that she was killed, that he killed,
and
her.
that any babies inside of her were killed.
Presumably, the babies got killed.
Okay,
and then he's like, no.
Yeah, so
looking
he did
very
not know
forward
about
to that.
So he probably figured, there's this kid named Skywalker. Looks like he's from Tatooine.
Looks a little like me.
I probably should have gone back to Tatooine sometime in the last 20 years and just checked on my family that lives there and maybe seen if Obi-Wan was hanging out. I don't know.
Well, he did go and check on them in episode 4 and made sure his relatives were completely immolated.
Yeah, did a little moisture collecting while he was there. Why not?
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting.
So that's been a long-standing thing in this Star Wars fan circles is so wait a minute, you're telling me they take Leia, change her last name, hide her away with a royal family,
make her a princess.
Luke, they keep on Tatooine. They don't change his last name, even though he could have been Luke Lars. And Obi-Wan just kind of chills there, not too far away. So, they basically, the one of the theories is that, really Luke was meant to be bait.
Ooh. Oh, I like that.
Which, if you're a fan of the Jedi are kind of assholes theory, plays nicely into that.
Or maybe Skywalker is just the Smith of Tatooine.
Which is also what Chris said when we were watching this fucking movie.
Exactly what I said last night.
Jesus.
Here's the thing, though, except he gave him to Owen and Beru. Who, it is established, even before the prequels, Anakin did know. Otherwise, yeah, maybe it would be that, but it's
maybe they should have just convinced Luke that they were actually his parents.
Yeah,
we'd call him Luke Lars.
Yeah.
Just run with it. But for some reason, they kept the surname.
I mean, you could actually you could still call him Luke Lars in the original Star Wars and just have Obi-Wan tell him, no, your real name is Skywalker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could have come up,
Not that they would have thought that far ahead when they were making the first one.
Right, because it's still debatable if they actually even...
Yeah.
But, since we have to go with what is established in retrospect,
I don't see why we have to. Fucking Lucas won't let sleeping dogs lie and keeps fucking editing shit. Let's just rewrite the whole thing.
Well, that's one thing I don't think he plans on rewriting.
Well, tough shit. He's you know what? We're altering the deal. He's not in charge anymore.
Sure.
We're changing it. Fuck him.
We're in charge now.
Exactly.
Just is it ever said on screen that Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru are not Skywalkers? Because they could just be Owen and Beru Skywalker, and it's just the family name.
You know, I don't remember if it's said in the original movies.
But the
I
books!
In the prequels, I think we get
Well, yeah, no. In the prequels, they are definitively the
Larses.
Lars family, but like, I don't know why they would do that unless it was just something that was established in like a book or something.
Probably established on a fucking action figure.
True.
Like Ewok.
Yeah, no kidding.
Famously never said in this movie.
In the
Good.
credits, it says Ewok.
Yes, but it's never spoken.
Hmm.
Do I want to move on to my Ewok fact or more
No, please.
more stuff? Yeah, let's
I'd
move
like
on
to
to the
subscribe to
Ewok
Ewok Facts.
fact. EwokFacts.com. We're big fans of Warwick Davis here, regardless of his portrayal of an Ewok in this movie.
Truth.
He did a fine job. I just hated
Yeah.
that they were there.
Yeah, no, I mean, everyone who was an Ewok did fine. They couldn't help it. Look, you take what job you can get in Hollywood when you're, what's the proper term?
A
now?
little person?
Little people.
Little
Is
people.
that still
They,
accepted?
they like
Yeah.
little people.
Okay.
Or
You
dwarf.
take-
I've heard dwarf a lot.
Well, dwarf, I think,
If you
speaks to a
have
specific
dwarfism.
thing.
Yeah,
Fair.
dwarf
Got it.
is like a medical term.
Yeah, like I think Warwick Davis has dwarfism, so
Yeah, so that one's more dependent on the individual.
yeah. So
But I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't know, and the person who is a little person is not a dwarf, and you called them a dwarf, I could see that being problematic too.
yeah. All right. Well, apologies, but as far as I know, then this is the right term. But yeah,
Yeah.
you take what job you can
On-
get as a little person in how in
Yeah,
Hollywood.
on his show Life's So Short, he mentioned that a lot. But he also apparently wasn't going to play the particular Ewok that befriends Leia. The name is Wicket W. Warwick.
Mhm.
Originally, that was going to be Kenny Baker, who famously is also R2-D2. But he came down with food poisoning the morning of that shoot.
No.
So they just grabbed Warwick and said, you want to be Leia's friend today?
I'm also
Wow.
pretty sure Warwick was a kid. I think
Yeah, he was
He
like
was very
12.
young.
yeah.
12 or 13, something like that. Yeah, he was actually a child here.
Yeah, like his grandmother saw they were looking for little people for this movie and it's like, hey, you should do that.
Good job,
Rest
Grandma.
is history.
You're
Yeah.
the best, Granny. Good work.
Yeah, I mean, he's done so a shitload since. Usually under, piles of makeup or inside a suit or whatever.
Yeah, we see him in Solo. We see his actual face, I believe, in Solo.
And I think in one of the prequels. I think he
Nice.
shows up unmasked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear, that's another thing the special edition added.
Oh no.
Well, a later special, the version we have. It rhymes.
did you watch
so
on Disney
originally-
Plus or do you have something else?
Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I do have like a DVD version somewhere, but I don't know what stage of special edition it was. But when Vader picks up the Emperor and chucks him down the thing,
Yeah,
Of
with
course, the
lightning
version-
everywhere.
in the version you have, it's beautifully silent. There's just lightning and the Emperor screaming and Luke going, "What the fuck?" In our version,
Luke going, ow.
worse. He picks him up and Vader goes, "No!"
Are you kidding me?
Hand
I
to
was-
God.
I
Hand
was
to fucking
thinking
God.
because I know that that's like poetry rhyme. Because in the third one, I know it's a big meme
Yep.
that he goes, "No,
Yeah.
do not want."
They added the
And
fucking
I was
no to
thinking
Jedi.
when he picked up the Emperor, I was like, man, somebody should make a YouTube clip of this where they dub in the audio from the no
Yeah.
as he's throwing
but as
the
a
Emperor.
joke. Because
Well,
that's
As a
a
joke,
joke.
because it would be ridiculous.
Nope, George did it
Oh
for
my
real.
lord.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's my question. Okay, so on the version you guys watched, is the riding around on speeder bikes, do those things have another name?
No speeder bikes, that's
Little
their
speeder
official name.
bikes. Does it look glaringly awful? Because holy shit, the matting is so distractingly
That-
bad in the version we watched.
That was one of the parts where I was kind of dozing. I don't remember. Did you get a good look?
Like you can just see you guys were just bopping around on a soundstage and they added everything later and it looks so bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
yeah,
like
but that's how I always remembered it, so it just feels like
Yeah,
it's part of the
Hmm.
charm.
I think they didn't really fuck around with. Like I said, I think the main fucking around with this one was
No.
That one.
some extra fucking aliens at Jabba's palace.
More
fucking-
Gungans.
More gun. Yeah, the whole thing at the end.
Couple of BEMs.
Ugh. I don't think they really messed with Endor too much.
Yeah, well, they should have. They should have just cut it.
Yeah, they would have all died if they jumped off those speeders. Like that, you'd be dead. You were going so fast, you would be super dead.
Yeah, I like the idea of the speeder bike. It's very cool. But yeah, not very practical.
No, well, not in that setting.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna smash into a tree.
Like in an urban setting with straight roads and such. Like, yeah, sure, fine, but
Well, they use them on in Mandalorian. They use them on Tatooine, and I'm like, that's a perfect place for them. You can
Empty
just fucking
space.
toot around in the desert, having a blast.
Yeah, because you don't want to be walking for sure. It'll take forever, and you'll
Plus, it's
pass
wicked
out.
fun. It's like a dirt bike or something.
No, it seems great. Like, again, in a wide open area, it would be the fucking best.
Yeah.
But in the middle of that, like, I mean, I don't know what your alternative is, but not that.
I mean, for that matter, the fucking chicken walkers don't make any sense in the woods either.
There's apparently just enough room between all the trees.
You feel like one of them's gonna like roll an ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the ground should be full of like roots and fallen trees and rocks.
Yeah,
I hike a lot. If I go off trail, there's nothing to walk on.
Yeah, no, they should have been tripping themselves. Like, they didn't need Ewok help.
I mean, really, the Empire should have just like fucking stripped. Yeah, they just like when they were building their little base, they should have just fucking cleared out the entire forest. And then you can throw in an environmental message into this movie and like the Ewoks habitat, it got ruined by the Empire and that's why they hate them.
It'd be just yeah.
Also, no one seems to have like communicators or walkie-talkies. It's all like, oh, let me hop on my speeder bike to go tell everybody that you guys can't radio?
Yeah.
This is so impractical. Because both sides do it. Both sides are like, oh, can't radio. Why?
Well, at one point, Luke tells Leia to turn on the signal jammer. So there's some kind of signal jamming that they're doing.
Yeah, but they'd already hopped on their little bikes to deliver a message before that.
True.
Also, just fucking genius idea. It's like, hey, we're gonna go on a stealth mission in a jungle. Let's bring the bright gold robot that doesn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's not really clear to me why the robots, either of them, were on this mission. Because like the original mission brief, they were just going to sneak into the base, plant some bombs, and fuck off.
Yep.
Why do we need either droid here?
I mean, I could see maybe bringing R2 if, like, you find out you gotta hack into something, because he can do that, and he knows to shut the fuck up sometimes.
Yeah, but he also...
Is bright white
terrain is not conducive.
He's got his little thrusters. That's fine.
Oh, right.
I don't think he has those yet.
No,
he's always had them.
He had them.
Oh, is that how that
in
works?
The past, yeah.
Yes.
Retroactive
maybe they broke
thrusters.
One of his
R2
previous
is truly
owners.
the Swiss Army knife of robots.
But yeah,
I also wonder, like, so they sneak, not really sneak, they talk their way past the shield, you know, when they're on the shuttle, the stolen shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a code or something. Even though it was old, it still worked.
It didn't, I mean, it kind of worked, but Vader knew it was bullshit.
I think Vader was reading that Luke was there, and then the Emperor says, why can't I? And I don't forget if that's ever clarified. Was that Obi-Wan's ghost force projecting himself around?
Let's go with yes.
Son of a fucking bitch. Anyway, go on, Jake.
But, so my question is, where did they land?
The forest moon of Endor.
But like, they show that there's like a landing pad.
Yeah.
They obviously didn't land on it because...
No. You think the minute they deviated from their prescribed course, they would have been shot down.
Yeah. So, I mean, is there a ship? Did they just, or do they like...
They jumped and let it crash.
Right? Maybe.
The Ewoks make a house out of it.
Yeah, because I think it would have made a lot more sense if they had just landed on the Imperial landing pad and just fought their way in. You know, this whole, like, what was their fucking plan? Because they didn't even know about the back door.
No, that's true.
The Ewoks told them about the back door. Their whole plan originally was to shoot their way in through the front door.
Yeah.
But it turns out it was all a trap, Even though I'm very confused about this trap because it required having all these people spring up out of nowhere and all these ships appear out of nowhere. And where did they come from?
The far side of the moon.
Sure.
Yeah, well, yeah. So
How they got around that quickly, I don't know.
It's a small moon. It's a space station. Yeah, and I think I'm guessing that the legions of best troops were all waiting at the front door for our friends to show up at.
Yeah.
And then they like got the call like from the one. Actually, I don't know who would have called and told them they were at the back door, but somebody was like, guys, you might want to come around back. Bring the chicken walkers. Yeah.
Here's my suggestion for the fleet when they see the shields aren't down yet, and now, oh no, we're stuck in a battle. Hyper away and come back in 5 minutes. What's stopping them from doing that?
I mean, these are people who are going into a big fucking battle. Who decide, hey, let's have a bunch of our small fighters with much smaller fuel tanks hyper into the zone on their own instead of being in any of our many fighter carriers, which are also going.
Yeah, what would have made more sense, because there was really no reason for the entire fleet to even go there. They could have just had, a wing of fighters and the Falcon go in.
Because they weren't expecting the Imperial
they weren't
fleet.
expecting a battle. So why send their entire fleet? The other thing is, that thing's operational! Okay, let's fly around to the backside of it. Because it's only got a phaser on one side.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
And I imagine turning it takes a while.
Yeah, I would guess.
That would actually be kind of, they just go around and it's like, sir? What? They went to the other side. Fuck!
Well,
didn't plan for this.
Remember, the Death Star is designed to blow up planets, not ships. It's not designed to go at moving targets. So you would think that just...
Planets are moving.
Not relative to
Different
the Death
sense.
Star. The Death Star would, take up a position orbiting a planet and then blow it up.
Oh, well, that's different.
Versus,
Could it be orbiting the planet? Wouldn't that get them caught in the blast somehow?
you can orbit from far away.
Yes.
The moon orbits the Earth, and it's,
Yeah, but it's also
half
not
a million
shooting
miles
anything at
away.
us.
Wait, who would get caught in the blast?
The Death Star.
Oh, I see. Yeah, well.
Well, I guess that's also assuming that the planet is full of explosives, like a Michael Bay movie. So
Well, I mean,
that's
when
kind of foolish.
when they blow up Alderaan in the first one, it does create a pretty massive shockwave.
Oh, just saying.
Yeah, they were okay, though. But either way, the point is, the Death Star, not optimized for fighting ships.
No.
But yet somehow they managed to take out several of the capital ships that the Rebellion has.
Yeah.
Lucky shot.
Yeah, again, that would have been just move around back.
Yeah.
It's slowly turning, trying to get to them, but they just keep pace with it. And it's
Yeah.
Stop it! Bastards!
Also, the fact that, one of those mega Star Destroyer things can be taken out just by something crashing into the bridge.
Yeah. Well, after a shield generator is taken down.
Sure, but, you'd think that, that's going to kill everybody on the bridge.
Like I said, there's no chain of command. Everyone else just goes home.
It's
And apparently no redundant bridge.
Yeah, the guy that's, in charge of making sure it doesn't crash into stuff is like, shit, lost contact with the bridge. I guess we're just going to fly into this fucking Death Star here.
No one's telling me not to.
Also,
I won't.
I have to say, for a film series that's, sort of known for having good special effects for their time, the Star Destroyer crashing into the Death Star was pretty bad, I thought.
It looked
'Cause
kind of silly.
It was just and then it just turns into a wall of flame. It's just I would have liked a better crash. I would have liked to see chunks of it flying off.
They had to have too many crashes on those speeder bikes in the forest. They ran out of crashing money.
Yeah. I like how we see a different type of stormtrooper. In Empire, we saw a stormtrooper that had a cape, a capey stormtrooper.
The snow troopers, which look big Ku Klux Klan vibes.
Yeah, a little bit. A
Hoods.
little bit. Yeah, they had like hoods and capes
And
and
this
stuff.
we got the Scout Troopers.
Yeah, these guys.
Which one did we see the red honor guard motherfuckers too?
That's this one, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, the
Lucas was going. He was like, "This is all right. It's the last movie. We got to go for broke with these toys.
Yeah, well, if yeah, exactly. You
We
can
need a
sell
half
more.
dozen new types of troopers.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
We
even
need
like
that are
some
just
like
bent
wearing
at the
like
knees to
black
ride on the speeders.
black outfits. Which
those are the
kind of-
pilots.
Yeah, those are pretty badass. Yeah, I thought the stupid joke with the all right, I think I got it, and then he closes the outer door. I was like, Meh, meh.
Oh man, if only he could have said, "It's not my fault!" one more time. It would have been awesome. You're right, it never occurred to me how like ill-used Han is in this film.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything to do, so they just have him do goofy shit like accidentally shutting the outer door.
And be jealous of his girlfriend's friend. which
Oh
is
my
Yeah.
god, I
stupid-
hated that.
Stupid behavior.
He comes in, Leia's
He's a
obviously
toxic piece of
distraught.
shit. He's a toxic
And makes
piece of shit.
Yeah, he comes in and has to make it all about him. It's like, Han, what the no. No one likes you anymore.
Including Leia.
Especially Leia.
Especially Leia. Actually, really, that is why Leia was upset. She was like thinking, all right, Luke and I, that'll work out. I can leave Han. I can make a clean break here and just, because Luke respects me. He doesn't tell me how I need bad men in my life and like corner me. He treats me with respect. It's going to be great.
He's not at all
Fuck.
scruffy looking.
He's my brother. Son of a bitch.
What Han also gets to do in this movie is comedy murder Boba Fett.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's so goofy.
The best
Yeah.
I
part.
forgot how
Where's
goofy
Boba
it is.
Barnabas?
Oh god.
It must have because it was in the original, but the Sarlacc monster burping after it eats a guy.
Yeah, but don't forget, because we're the special edition, our Sarlacc had the extra thing in the middle.
Oh,
It has like a big mouth on a tentacle.
Yeah, it looks
like Audrey 2?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Feed me, Jabba.
Did they do that because it made it look more or less like a vagina?
More.
I mean, it doesn't look very. I mean, something very wrong if if the vagina has like because there's like
A mouth on a tentacle? Yeah, you're right.
Well,
My
no, I mean
definitely doesn't have that.
even the original Sarlacc just looks. It's got like spiky teeth on it and stuff.
Yeah, just like the vagina. What?
Oh, of course.
What?
You're right.
Know, how vaginas do.
See,
Fair
George
enough.
wasn't.
How to know? Jake has never seen a vagina. Oh, he doesn't know about the spiky teeth.
I'm
George-
actually gonna Google it because I feel like I've been calling this not the vagina but the Sarlacc because I think I've been calling it like a desert vagina or like a sand vagina all this time and
See, I think it's more.
it does aside from the rows of teeth, but it actually kind of looks more like a butthole.
I was gonna say, I think it's more like a butthole. I think it's got more of a gaping asshole feel to
Yeah,
it.
you're right. It does, especially because of the teeth. You're right. I was
Yeah.
thinking of the butt, not the vagina.
Yeah.
Caitlin, always thinking of the butt.
Most of the time.
See, George wasn't content to just have a burping Sarlacc now, so one of the other things they had is an establishing shot of Jabba's palace with a big CG frog.
Oh no, there's
we got
that's
that.
that's in the original. That's not CG'd. That's,
But does it
that's-
eat the rat and then burp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was
like a stop motion thing.
See, I think then what he did was he replaced the stop motion frog with a CG frog
Oh.
because it's definitely like bad CG frog in our version.
Oh, our version's a puppet and it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Ours was shitty CG.
Yeah, I also wasn't quite sure how those little floating boats worked because they shoot one of them and it starts to fall in, but then it stops falling in. It just sits there at an angle.
It has multiple anti-grav units and only one was shot. Let's go with that.
Also, why does Luke... So, Jabba's been killed.
Mhm.
Most of the Jabba's people have been killed.
Yep.
And then Luke tells Leia to murder everybody else that's on the yacht by blowing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, aim the gun at the deck, and we'll kill all of the people inside. Many
Many of
whom
whom are slaves.
are probably also slaves. Blue Elephant guy. All
No, Blue Elephant's totally into it.
That's true. He's the actual mob boss. Jabba's just the front man. But yeah, it seems very kind of un-Jedi like to order somebody to murder a whole ship full of people.
It's because this is the story of him being kind of dark-sidey, isn't it?
I guess so.
So what happens to get half-ass training?
To be fair, his training was good. He just decided to bail on it like a little douchebag.
Well, yeah, but then he goes back and Yoda's like, "Nah, you're good."
It's because he's dying. It's because he can't be fucking
ass.
Well, Yoda's also
I'm the
good
last
enough.
Jedi and I'm dead, so good luck, buddy.
Yeah, because Yoda's got it figured out. Yoda's like, he doesn't actually have to be a Jedi to fucking fight Vader. He just needs to be, mad enough to hack Vader to death.
Yeah, and to be fair, the plan hadn't been to return to Dagobah and hang out with Yoda this movie. But I guess they realized, A, we've got to finish up the dropped plot with Yoda, and B, someone who isn't Vader has to claim to be Luke's dad, because otherwise everyone could just assume he's lying.
Yeah, but they did have the scene with Kenobi, who, despite being a ghost, also has to take a load off and sit down on a log.
Yep.
It's exhausting. Oh my god! I also read that originally Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Anakin would return to life and join the party with the Ewoks on Endor.
Oh,
No.
boy.
No.
Yeah.
No words.
Yeah, I like the idea that they all hang out. Although I wonder, because you mentioned how Anakin's got a lot of blood on his hands.
So much.
And yet, he does a good thing for once in his life by throwing the Emperor's clone off of the thing.
But again,
and
it
then
takes him an
all of a
awful
sudden
long
he gets to hang out with his old pals.
Well, I think that supports the Clerk's theory that the Star Wars universe is Catholic.
That's true.
It's like a deathbed conversion kind of thing.
There you go. It's a good point. It's true. If you do your Hail Marys, you're in.
Yep. No matter what you did up to that point.
I was gonna say, you don't even have to do Hail Marys. You just have to say, all right, well, I fucked up, thanks.
Don't you have to do penance to do to clear yourself?
I don't know if it's on the deathbed. I think on the deathbed.
Oh, on the deathbed, it's just you get a free pass.
Yeah,
I guess that's what the last rites are.
You say Hail Marys, and I think he has to throw a football really well.
That's right. I'm gonna flutie this shit.
Well, I think Tebow or whatever his name is would be a.
That, of course, too, does the
Isn't
difference.
that the guy that likes to thank God or whatever?
I mean, a lot of them do, but he was the
but
one.
Doug Flutie was famous for throwing a particularly important Hail Mary.
Oh, I was thinking about the one who liked Jesus best, but okay.
Tebow likes Jesus, but he sucks at football, so clearly Jesus doesn't like Tebow.
He's better at Jesus.
Yeah.
Good for him.
No, fuck him.
No, fuck him is right, but I mean...
Of course, we had Hayden Christensen ghost instead of...
I'm so sorry. You poor thing.
I didn't think you mentioned that. That's so weird to me. It wasn't why, if they were going to do that, why didn't they get Sideburns Yoda and Ewan McGregor to be the other ones? Why is he the only one that shows up as his younger self?
I think the justification
the dark side.
Lucas gave was that it was his last,
And because it rhymes.
True form or whatever.
But that's not true, because when he's talking to Luke...
Right, his last true form is...
Eggman.
Yeah. Well, that's actually... So if you're
the
familiar...
Eggman cometh.
If you're familiar with the Honest Trailer series on YouTube, what they have is the ghost that appears first is, hacked up, you just took my helmet off Vader. And Luke goes, "Hey, Dad, thanks for appearing in a form I'd recognize." Before turning into Sebastian Shaw. And then turning into Anakin. And then a bunch of other Jedi.
It's like going into a dressing room and saying, which one do I like best?
Yeah. And then a bunch of other Jedi show up and hey, look who's back, and this and that. And then all the youngling ghosts appear. And one of them just goes, "You killed us all."
Womp,
was that Honest Trailers, or was that How It Should Have Ended?
Honest Trailers.
Okay.
No, wait, you're right. How It Should Have Ended. Don't listen to me. Ames is
Never.
right. How It Should Have Ended. Thank you, Ames.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because I know I've seen that and it all sounded familiar.
Yeah. How it should have ended.
So I get that Anakin's lived kind of a rough life in terms of, being almost killed in a volcano and, then
having to draw his eyebrows on.
But when he shows up as the ghost, he looks a lot older than 20 years older than Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
He looks about 60, I would say.
Yeah, it
maybe
make a lot of
older.
sense.
So again, maybe that's a reason why George did it, was because he realized that, oh yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense that Anakin has aged 40 years in 20 years.
Yeah, no.
If we're showing him, as his good self.
To be fair, did they plan? No, the answer being no. The answer being no, they did not. What younger Anakin would have looked like 20 years ago? The answer is Jesus Christ, no, of course not.
Yeah, well, I think they didn't know that they were going to have as young an actor playing.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have. That's idiotic.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that they should have never had the prequels be young, like little Anakin. It should have been, like young adult, like in his, 30s Anakin versus in his 20s.
Which I clearly had been the idea when they were writing these and casting old Anakin.
Yeah, exactly. The idea was that, okay, he's going to be like in his 30s or 40s at the time he goes dark. But no, they were like, let's just rewind it 20 years. And then we
want teen drama.
Yeah, and that way we can have a little boy Anakin in the first movie, and we can sell all kinds of things to kids.
Or maybe more time should have passed in the We'll talk about this next week because the prequels, oh boy, we're going to have some discussions.
Yes. The most unnecessary film series ever.
No, that's the sequels.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Ooh. Shots fired.
I was just going to say shots fired.
Lightsabers lighted.
I will say what this has taught me is that I really hate the special editions more than I remembered. Because I when they first came out, I was young and stupid and was like, wow, look at that. Then I got older and I was like, yeah, it's dumb, but fucking whatever. I still got the movies. Good, close enough. But I think, watching it this time and realizing that so many of the changes that were made seem to be based on George thinking the audience is stupid actually kind of annoys me. It has made me really dislike them.
What they could have and should have done is just remastered the films,
that's all we wanted.
Improve the sound, make it, 5.1 or whatever. Clean up, the shitty garbage mats on the spaceships, just make it look nice again. Yeah,
just tidy some stuff up.
But don't change the films. Just make them, clean them up.
And the worst part is, to my mind, is that there's no way this wasn't at least partially an influence on CBS being like, we're not just going to remaster TOS, we're going to put in some really bad CG.
Yeah.
Because again, what?
I mean, the thing is, I don't think, while the show itself was, made on high quality film stock and with good lighting, I imagine that the special effect shots from TOS were not originally very high quality to begin.
Oh no, but honestly, I'd rather have my special effect shot match my crappy cardboard set than be cheesy CG.
Oh yeah, I don't think the CG that they did was the right answer.
No, they should have just cleaned up as best they could have and called it a day.
Yeah, or waited 5 years and made some CG shots that actually looked good. I don't even know if they would have had to wait that long.
Or appropriate, or fitting the aesthetic.
There are plenty of shows that are contemporaneous with the remastered original series that have nice CG that would have fit versus what we ended up with.
Yeah,
which looks like something from Reboot, complete with fractal dicks.
Oh no.
But yeah, like you said, they just should have gone in, cleaned up some artifacting, use CG to make little touches, not
Yeah, make the lightsabers look better.
Yeah, not change who shoots first and shit like that.
Yeah. No.
Oh man, I can't
No, that
believe
needs
that.
to stay.
I can't believe that's a real thing.
It is.
I
Been
thought
confirmed.
I was
Terrible.
like, oh, I'm gonna make this joke on the podcast tomorrow that we should do
Whoops.
that.
George beat you to it.
Search your heart, Jake. You know it to be true.
Uh,
Something about poetry.
yeah, and how about that Emperor though, huh? He's a piece of shit.
He's a badass bitch. It is pretty weak that he just gets thrown down the thing, though. You're telling me he's got all that fucking lightning and shit, he couldn't, like, make himself float? We watched Yoda pick up a fucking X-Wing out of a swamp. He can't, like, point the Force lightning at the floor and levitate himself back up or some shit? Really? I'm serious.
Maybe, can you levitate yourself?
Why
Or
couldn't
can you only levitate other things?
I don't know. I feel like we see Luke doing some especially high jumping and shit, and I assume that's Force.
Well, so I think part of the
Force-fed, if you
implication
will.
is that there was sort of a feedback loop of like his lightning going into Vader. And
Is that why Vader had to go, no?
Yes.
It is.
That was the sound of the positive feedback loop. Like,
Yeah. So lightning's like going to Vader and going into him, so he was weakened and blah blah blah.
As we said in 9, his greatest word I'm looking for.
Achievement, failure.
No,
mistake.
yeah. His greatest weapon that can be used against him is his own fucking lightning.
Yes.
Weakness. His greatest weakness. His own lightning.
Yeah, and that's again.
His lightning is a double-edged
rhymes.
sword.
You know,
Oh,
it
boy.
injures
So
him
much
at the
rhyming.
end of 3. It helps kill him at the end of 6. Helps kill him at the end of 9.
So
Can't wait for 12.
So knowing now that that the Emperor is a clone, supposedly, according to 9. I mean, I guess
Nope,
that's
not canon. No
It's
longer
canon.
canon.
I like to imagine that, like, you know, the real Emperor, you know, Vader calls him, he's like, I would like you at the Death Star. He's like, you know, he has to send out his clone to go, I have to get to the ribbon cutting of the new Death Star. just sends his clone out.
I'm not going to that shit. There's a Gossip Girl marathon on.
Instead of like big gold scissors, is it just like 2 of those yellow PP lightsabers?
Yeah. Oh my god,
Aw.
no! It is like it is.
Light
No, it's
scissors?
just scissors, but only up to the hinge, and they go.
I will say I saw a great video once. This is, I think, before episode 9 came out. Just talking about how great Ian McDiarmid is, because, like, no matter what crazy shit they throw at him, he's game. He just runs with it. He's
Oh
like,
yeah, nothing against him for sure.
yeah, no, he's like, you know, okay, so I'm here to play this camp weirdo. Got it.
Yeah.
For all I know, this wasn't his decision. But if it was...
Like, I didn't need the Emperor in episode 9.
How?
Shouldn't have been there. It was the dumbest thing. But, I mean, when he spoke, so he's still, you know, he is Palpatine. He's got that weird fucking energy. Can't take that away from him.
Yeah. I like how, you know, so originally they were actually just going to immediately follow up these movies with the prequel movies, but they had to wait 20 years so he could age into the role of Palpatine.
It did work out, admittedly. Early ideas I know I read about years ago for this was that originally I think they were going to be building the second Death Star around Coruscant. Although I don't think it was called that at the time. But anyway, the Imperial capital world. And the confrontation wasn't going to take place on the Death Star between Luke and Vader and all of them. It was going to take place, like, in the deep bowels of the Emperor's palace. Which was, like, gonna have a, you know, like, overlook a lake of lava or something like that.
Oh, that would have really been like poetry at rhymes.
Yeah. There was gonna be a scene at some point. This maybe it was gonna be Empire, not Jedi or Jedi. But anyway, there was like a sequence where Vader was gonna be in his like lair feeding like gargoyle aliens from a golden bowl. It's like, kind of want that shit. This
I
is
do kind of
great.
want that.
This is so much better than Ewoks.
And if we could have had a 45-minute lightsaber duel over that river of lava, I mean, even better.
soon. You'll get it soon enough, Jake.
I can't wait. I know people talk about episode 3 like it's the best of the prequels.
It's because they're all bad.
I would say it's the least bad of the prequels.
I don't know. I mean, admittedly, it's been a long time since I've seen this. So I am really looking forward to the next few weeks because it'll give me a chance to reevaluate my position.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly think episode 1 might be the best of the 3. But
The best
again,
of the 3 prequels?
Yeah.
Honestly, episode 1 might be better than Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's possible. I mean, we'll talk about it next week. So here's.
I think you're
here's our
forgetting
preview.
how much baby Anakin talks in that movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's true.
There's bad baby Anakin.
I'm just
There's
thinking
bad Jar Jar Binks.
that Jar Jar versus Ewoks is kind of a wash, but okay, fair. When you add in little baby Anakin, that's a good point.
And
This
Boss
is pod racing.
Though by all accounts, the pod racing game is actually quite good and holds up to this day.
The video game.
Yeah.
I think I have that on N64. I think.
They actually re-released it on modern platforms not long
Oh, did
ago.
they?
Yeah. Do we have anything else about this movie?
No, we're starting to talk about stuff we're going to be covering in the next week, so we might as well.
like the Naboo.
Of course, one little Star Trek fact to round us off. I may have mentioned this, I don't remember. It's been a while. As Caitlin mentioned at some point, this was originally Revenge of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
But then George was like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Revenge feels like a bad guy thing.
No,
I think
it was
it
actually
was a fan letter, wasn't it?
No, it was the writer. Yeah, the writer Lawrence Kasdan said
Okay.
it should be revenge. It should be revenge because revenge is a more active word.
But then they changed it to return.
Then they changed it to return because Lucas said the Jedi wouldn't want to take revenge on things because they're better than that.
Yeah.
And the
Revenge
story I always heard was that was a fan letter. I don't know if maybe that's apocryphal. But
I don't know.
That because they had started marketing it somewhat as Revenge of the Jedi.
Yeah, some people have the posters.
Yeah,
over them.
that's
and
worth a lot of money if
and
you got one.
a fan sent a letter
Secret
saying
merch.
that that wouldn't be what a Jedi does. But maybe that might be apocryphal.
Yeah, but at the same time, Star Trek II was in development. And its original title was The Revenge of Khan. But then they were like, hey guys, the next Star Wars is going to be Revenge of the Jedi. And they went, fuck.
To
So
be
they
fair,
switched it.
both the Revenge of Khan and the Wrath of Khan are kind of shit.
I will say of the two, I think Wrath of Khan sounds better. Maybe
I
that's
think it
because I'm
sounds
used
better.
to it.
Yeah, it's the one we know.
But also, I feel like the thing is, in reality, Khan doesn't really get much in the way of revenge, but he does spend the whole film pissed off.
The pissed offness of Khan.
Yeah.
That's my title.
Don't talk to me before my coffee of Khan.
I have one
And that
coffee
is
to go.
One of two times a different movie will force Paramount to change a Star Trek name.
What's the other one?
Was First Contact.
What were they gonna
Originally
call it
expected to be
initially?
called The Phantom Menace.
Star Trek Resurrection, but Alien Resurrection beat them to the punch.
Oh.
Not sure what Resurrection has to
that
do with
doesn't-
anything in that movie.
That
So
makes no
again,
sense
worked
why it
out.
would be called that.
Yeah, I think Star Trek Borg would have been fine. First Contact is okay, but
It's fine. But yeah, so that's my last thing, I guess. Revenge of the Jed Khan.
Nice.
I will say Wrath of Khan's probably the better movie of the two.
Over this one?
Yeah.
Oh, unquestionably.
What do you mean? Maybe you think?
That's a
Probably.
ridiculous statement.
Definitely, it is.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. That's right. I don't know why I'm like pulling my
Khan
punches.
Khan wasn't bested by a bunch of teddy bears.
But was okay, so yeah, that one's obvious. But is Jedi better than the motion picture?
No.
Because not much happens in either film.
Yeah, but motion picture is actually pretty okay.
Yeah, no, I know.
Except that it isn't.
One more edit would have saved
It's
it.
just it's boring. It's long and boring. But
They
as a
should have
movie,
given it to Lucas's wife to edit. She would have
They
fucking
should've.
knocked
Oh,
it
there you
out of
go.
the park.
it could
She
have
would've
used
been-
another edit.
Is she
for
still
sure.
alive? I want to see her motion picture edit.
I think she's still alive.
Isn't
Get her
the
on
new
the phone.
version coming out soon?
It's just a 4K restoration.
Oh, is that what it is? That's silly.
Yeah.
Okay,
they already
if it
did the
says edited
director's
by
edition.
Marsha Lucas at the end, you know we're gonna in for a good time.
True. We're clearly meandering. Get us out of
Speaking
here.
of better media, thank you for joining us to start a Steer Her By. Shore Leave number 400. What number was this?
This was
2.
Star Wars Shore Leave 3.
3. 3, that's the one.
But isn't it like number...
Well,
We're
episode
not
6.
continuing the numbering.
All right. Well, there's no
The numbering has restarted for this.
Yeah.
Because
Join
it's
us
not
at-
a Star Trek thing.
Join us next week when we talk about an arguably better film called The Phantom Menace.
We'll see.
Arguably.
Money's down.
It's going to be an interesting discussion.
Yep, it sure will. If you want to make sure to hear about when that comes out, or if you want to check out our old episodes, you can subscribe. Find us where any and all the best podcasts are: SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify? Yeah, Spotify. You can also find us on Facebook by searching for A Star to Steer Her By. We are on Twitter and Tumblr as @SSHB Podcast. We're also at www.sshbpodcast.com, where you can find fun things we've written, like articles and fanfics and tops and bottoms of seasons and series. And actually, I feel like we have to write something, put something together for the end of all the Star Wars, don't we?
Yeah, I'm
friends?
planning to.
That's right. You said you were going to make us another beautiful board.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
we'll do the actual rankings and see if Phantom Menace is better than Return of the Jedi.
Can see Aim's beautiful boards. It's going to be great. Yeah, I think that's it. We hope to see you next week when we discuss Star Wars Episode 1, A Phantom Menace. The Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace? Is there
some kind of menace?
a
I
phantom?
think it's the.
It is the.
Thank you. I have been Caitlin.
I've been Jake.
This has been Chris.
And I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, she said the line!
Oh,
It's
it rhymes!
This was Ames.